Another year is coming to an end. The parties, the lights, and along with all of that, an unwanted guest shows up. Do you know where this guest sits? Right on the couch inside your mind. It sits there comfortably and whispers the following in your ear. Look at that. Another year ending and you didn't accomplish anything. You didn't move forward. Those goals you promised yourself at the beginning of the year? You didn't achieve any of them. You should feel guilty. And what makes it worse is that you open social media and suddenly it feels like everyone you follow ran a marathon this year. One person got promoted. Another got married. A cousin traveled to Europe in business class. And you? You feel like your biggest achievement was simply making it to the end of the year alive because doing things, you feel like you didn't do them. This feeling shows up for many people at the end of the year, and maybe for you who are listening to me now. If you're feeling this moral hangover, this quiet shame for believing you wasted the year, another year without achievements, stay with me. Because today we are going to dismantle this lie your brain is telling you. Yes, it is a lie. And I'm going to prove it. My name is Mary, I'm a psychologist, and today we're going to talk about you. There is a very interesting concept called the ideal self and the real self. The ideal self is the one who made all those promises you were supposed to fulfill this year. It was that imaginary version of you who, back in January, decided you would wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, read 20 books in a year, create projects that would double your income. That was the ideal version of you, the person you would like to be, but who is actually very far from your real self. So when December arrives, you compare your tired, sweaty, hard-fought reality with everything you projected in that idealized version of yourself. And what comes up? Frustration. The feeling that you did nothing. And that's where something very important comes in, something people don't talk about enough. Maintenance. You think you didn't achieve anything because you're looking for big trophies. The car you didn't buy, the promotion you didn't get, the trip to Dubai you didn't take, the dream wedding that didn't happen. You're looking for huge trophies, and because of that, it feels like you did nothing. But in clinical practice, what we see the most are invisible victories, victories the patient doesn't notice or value. Because many invisible victories are simply acts of maintenance. And maintenance can be a very important invisible victory. It doesn't need to be a big trophy. That list you made? Forget it. The person who made that list wasn't you, it was your ideal self, not your real self. Maybe your achievement this year wasn't earning more money or buying the car you wanted. Maybe your victory was not sending that message you really wanted to send to that toxic ex during a lonely moment when you almost did, but didn't, because you know that person is toxic in your life. That is a huge victory. And the name of that victory is emotional maturity. If you managed to do that, you matured emotionally, at least a little. Or maybe your victory was getting out of bed this year, even when depression or anxiety felt like tons of weight on your shoulders and wanted to keep you trapped there. But you forced yourself to get up and live despite the sadness, despite the pain. That is a victory. Because that is resilience. Or maybe your victory was keeping your job during a crisis when many people were being laid off. Or forgiving someone who absolutely did not deserve forgiveness, but you did it anyway. I know none of these things generate likes on social media. They're victories no one sees, sometimes not even you. But they generate something much more important, psychological structure. Maybe your greatest victory this year wasn't achieving unrealistic goals set by your ideal self, but strengthening your psychological foundation, despite everything. Life is hard. And no one sees these victories because they are foundations. And where are foundations? Underground. A house without a foundation collapses. So when you think you didn't achieve anything this year, remember a dangerous concept called selection bias. You see your cousin's trip abroad, but you don't see the credit card debt behind it. You don't see the fights they had at the hotel, the days they barely spoke to each other. That doesn't show up online. Wake up. You see your colleague's promotion, but you don't see the burnout or the gastritis diagnosed after the last medical exam. The money from the promotion is being spent on medication. So wake up. The question is not what others did. The real question is, what silent battles did I win this year? And maybe you're asking yourself, okay, but how do I heal this moral hangover? Here's a simple exercise. Instead of making a list of what was missing, make a list of what remained. Who stayed by your side? Who do you love that life didn't take away from you? Who did you manage to keep close? That is a victory. Which bad habit did you reduce, even a little? Reducing something slightly is already a silent victory. Maybe you finally had the courage to do that medical exam you were terrified of. You postponed it again and again, and then you did it. And it was nothing serious. That counts. What difficult problem did you solve this year, one you barely even remember now? You forgot because it wasn't on the ideal self list. So listen. Just maintaining yourself already makes you extraordinary. I'm not trying to comfort you. I want you to understand that life is made of repetition and processing. Sometimes spending a whole year simply maintaining your mental health is already a huge victory. Trust me, it's enough. So don't let the turn of the year erase your victories. They may not have been shiny, but they were real. Be kind to the person who brought you here. That person was you. If you don't take care of yourself now, you won't have the energy to begin January. Think about that. See you next time.